This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by CarWow. As you can imagine, I'm really into my cars, and the thought of getting a new one fills me with a huge amount of excitement every single time it comes around. But I'm not going to lie to you, there's also a little bit of dread there as well. What if I get it wrong? What if the deal isn't as good as I think it is? Thankfully, when I came to change up what I was driving at the start of this year, CarWow helped me work out what I wanted, find the right place to get it, and most importantly, get myself a great deal. When your life changes, so does your car. And with CarWow, your car changing will be life-changing too. And hey, don't let anyone tell you that being behind the wheel of a fast car isn't a life-changing experience. Buying or selling, CarWow is the free-to-use car-changing destination. They've already helped over 10 million people, including me, navigate the car market. CarWow, here to make your car change life-changing. Car change, CarWow. T's and C's apply. See carwow.co.uk/verify for details.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's Monday night, and welcome to episode 28 of season 14 of the Tilton Talk Show, sponsored by AMG Logistics. With me, Paul Hipkiss, all the way over there in Dallas, Mr. Mark Meredith, soon not to be in Dallas, and on his way over here.
Good evening, all. Yep, Thursday morning flight. Looking forward to it.
Welcome to God's country, mate. When you get here,
Yeah.
sweet.
I was going to say, you won't be very welcome if you mention Mr. Trump, but you're welcome to come back.
Going to Smalley.
With his robe on over a shirt, Mr. Road Mark Adams.
I like to look the part, Paul. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's well.
The one and only
Good evening.
Mr. Fixer Craig Courtney.
Good evening, all.
The Chairman Alan Watton.
Good evening.
And
Did the rope stay part? Oh, sorry.
And last but not least, Mr. Chris Browne.
Good evening.
And we're hoping to be joined by the one and only Kevin Francis and Mr. Ricky Otto as well from 7 p.m. onwards. So stay tuned for that as well. And I'll put the shirt on especially.
Excellent.
So I want them to bring out the home version of this actually in the shop. I was hoping that they would in time for Wembley, but they haven't. So anyone's listening from the club, please bring out the home version of the 1995 shirt, because it's one of my favourite ever Blues home shirts.
Good.
Okay, so where do we start? So over the last week, since the last show, obviously we've scored 8, conceded 3. I'll start us off with Bristol Rovers away last Tuesday night. Road. Wasn't a bad start, was it? We scored a lovely goal through Keshi, and then times after that, you'd think that we were 20th and they were first, wouldn't you, really? I thought they were one of the best teams that we played against this season. I thought they'd really give us a good game, didn't they?
Yeah, I think that's right. Good go. I mean, like you say, there's little between us, and looking at the league table, I thought they'd be, on that performance, I'd be a bit higher, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We weren't, again, it's the same old thing. It weren't the best performance, but we did it in the end. And that's the sign of title winners. We've said it time and time again, haven't we? Week after week, we said the same thing. The old cliche, play badly and win, which is what we did. But no, he's a good solid, good solid 3 points. I mean, some people again are saying, oh, these are the sort of teams we should go and score 4 or 5 away out, but it don't work like that. 2-1's more than good enough.
Yeah.
But no, well, I mean, to be fair, we couldn't have complained if they'd have got a draw out of it.
No. I thought at times, certainly after we scored, I thought, come on, then 3 or 4, because we were really on top of the game up until we scored, and then they responded really well to conceding. I mean, they hit the bar, they hit the post, didn't they? And also a good save as well. So yeah, they really did cause us some problems. And the old saying, innit, champions always find a way. Yeah,
that's what we did.
It's not going to be long now. We'll be champions.
I know. Get 1 or 2 trophies. It'd be nice.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and Claire, obviously, I believe you were at Bristol Rovers as well yourself.
Yeah, I think they were surprising, actually. I think Martin Taylor's son was exceptional. I know that he gave away the penalty, but I mean, we weren't great defending set pieces. And again, I think on Saturday we conceded as well, didn't we, from set piece? But when we went 1-0 up, I mean, it went absolutely crazy in our end. And we were all like, right, here we go, 3 or 4, let's get ready. And it was like something switched in them. And Bristol just came at us. And fair play to them. They should be higher than where they are. I mean, the crowd was all right. We were all right. The atmosphere and things like that. So obviously then it was poor defending really to go to 1-1. And then second half, it was like as soon as Pate came on, the last 20 minutes, we switched it up. Definitely a penalty, 100%. It was right in front of us. And then when Jay scored, well, I think we just all went a little bit crazy. And it was great to see. And you kind of thought this is something special this week. I think the whole couple of weeks is just going to be brilliant. And yeah, the thing with Bristol Rovers, we got that win. And it was a lovely drive back, knowing that we've won and we're nearly there. And then obviously going on to Saturday, which was just brilliant. But I generally think Browne would have given us a game with 11 men. I thought that they were really good. They were probably one of the best teams down there, especially with 10 men. I thought that they played really, really well. Especially their number 44 up front. I mean, he kept going, wasn't he? He was all right. But I mean, that Duke goal, I've got me mug. Bless him. Oh, what a goal. What tear to my eye. What a man. And for 6-2 to celebrate like that, feed the Duke and he will score. And I really hope he comes on at Wembley, because if he gets a goal at Wembley, if you think you've seen limbs, I think there'll be more limbs. But like Alfie May's hitting form. Right at the right time.
Claire, he's got to start with that, hasn't he? That front four now. He's got to play Dalby on
100%.
Stansfield left and Keshi right. That is our best front four.
Yeah, I think something's going on with Willem. Not quite sure what it is. I don't know whether he's 100% fit.
No.
Obviously, Chris Davies said he's poorly. I just think I would have him not in. I wouldn't have him starting tomorrow. No. Let's just have Dow. Let's have Jay on the left, Anderson on the right. And let's have Alfie May up front, because Alfie May will score you a goal. If you want to switch it up, bring the Duke on. And I just think fair play, like Duke scored, May. I thought the goals were really, really good. So happy days. Bring on tomorrow. Can't wait. Yeah.
Coming back on to you mentioning we conceded off a set piece. Now, I've got to use the F word here. Sorry, Chris. But we suffered it for 7 years, the Mark Roberts throwing. And, you know, I think we scored off 2, didn't we, out of about 900 in 7 years?
350, I think you'll find.
And the fact that we actually conceded off one was unbelievable, wasn't it?
Wasn't meant to be that loud, sorry.
That was written in the stars, though, weren't it? I mean, come on. He tried it when we played Barnsley before he went off injured, and he came close with a couple of them at Oakwell. So for him to go down there and actually, I've got to say, it was bloody decent ball as well.
Yeah,
for a change, it was pinpoint. So give him his credit there.
Oh no, he can throw a ball, that's for sure. He can throw miles, but yeah, coming on to Saturday, do we all think it was a red card on their player, or do we think it was a bit soft? Or
100%.
100% red.
One goal. Who was the last man? Do you think Mark Roberts is going to catch him?
Well, actually, I've seen it back since, and I did see that it was Mark Roberts that would have been the next man in line. And I don't want to criticise Roberts too much, because he did serve us well at times. He did under hard times. He served us well, I thought, at times. He didn't have, he wasn't anywhere near, obviously, Christophe Clara's level. Don't get me wrong, but he was all right at times. But yeah, I don't know. At the time, I thought it was harsh. I'm not going to lie. In the ground, a lot of people around me thought it was soft as well and a bit harsh. I mean, when you look at your Watter's challenge at Huddersfield and that's a yellow, and then you think that's a red, I don't know if they need to just look at the rules a little bit as well. But we'll take it, it is for the law of the game. It's 100% red card. You're right. But
Paul, yeah. I think I read your doubts, and I thought at the time, what probably is going through your head, and it went through mine as well, was you've seen that done and referees have bottled it. And fair play to this guy, he didn't. What that referee did, and I feel sorry for the bloke. After 2 minutes, he holds a red card up to their defender, and that virtually says the game's over. The game's over. It's just a case of how many we're going to win by. Now, fair play to Barnsley, they did better than that, but they were never going to win. And that referee, as a referee myself in the old days, you always hoped you went out on the pitch and you didn't decide the game. The players decided the game, not you. Your decision. Yeah. You give as best you can, and you just don't want it. And it used to happen to me time, especially on Sunday morning games. Somebody, I can remember a Coronation League game where in the last minute somebody jumped to head the ball and he put his arms on the bloke in front of him and headed the ball away in the box. And I'm going, oh, you tosser, why did you do that? I blew my whistle, gave the penalty, and that was the end of the game. But even worse, he had to do it after minute 1. Yeah. And that takes a hell of a lot of balls. And that's the difference between good referees and bad referees at the end of the day. How much have they got, Yeah. Are they willing to take, do the right thing? And I thought this guy did. He could have easily ducked that out, got a yellow card out and pointed to defend and all that sort of stuff. But he didn't. And fair play to him. I thought he was all right after that. Didn't agree with everything he did, I'm sure. But, he went up in it's like Mike Reid to me. Everybody didn't like Mike Reid, but Mike Reid had the cojones to do the right thing. He wasn't afraid of anybody.
Mike Reid, wasn't he in EastEnders?
I thought he was a captain, yeah.
He was a DJ, wasn't he?
Mike, sorry, you know what I mean.
Mike Riley.
Mike who?
Mike Riley, ain't it? Mike Riley.
No, not Mike Riley. No, he was an idiot. No, the one that supports Tranmere. He's retired now. He's on Sky.
Oh, yeah. Mike Dean.
Mike Dean. Well done, Claire.
No problem.
3 points, Claire. I played golf with him and I talked about it. And he said to me, I said something about Alec Ferguson. He said, and he just said, well, that silly old tosser ain't going to frighten me. And that's a bit arrogant, but he wasn't. He wasn't afraid of anybody. He wasn't afraid of anybody criticising him. Anyway, we're off the subject. Blues, I enjoyed the Bristol game really much because it was a contest. It was a genuine contest.
Yeah. Hello, Pauline. That was Reid, wasn't it?
Oh, Frank Butcher.
Well, Meredith, mate, how are you? And give us your thoughts. And did you think it was a straight red at the time?
At the time, I didn't know. I thought it was... in my mind, I didn't really see it was Roberts, to be honest with you. I just thought I seen like three Barnsley players obviously chasing. And then just the time of the game as well. I just thought I really thought the ref may have just to give him a warning, like a yellow and a bit of a warning, just with it being the first or second minute. But I do agree with everything that everyone said. After watching it again and looking back at it, I think you have to give it with the letter of the law, and it changed the game, but. We rode our luck in the first half. I thought we could still have gone down, still be losing going into the to half time.
1-1, wasn't it? It was 1-1 at half time, wasn't it?
It was 1-1, yeah. And I think we could have been losing them. I think we rode our luck a couple of times with a couple of good chances that they had. And it's always tough, even as a coach, to manage playing against 10 men because it changes the expectation of what you try to do, and you don't. They then defend in a lower block than what they would have. They stick one up top and they try to just catch you on the counter attack, and you have to look at it and you go, do we stick to what our game plan is against 11, or do we change our whole game plan to suit their 10 players? And to be fair to Davis, I think he must have told them at half time, listen, don't change. Go out and believe you're playing against 11, because I don't think we changed our game plan at all. The fact we scored 60 seconds into the second half is a big bonus, because I think that that just set the tempo straight away. But as soon as that second one went in, you felt the third was coming. And then after the third, it was just open gates, wasn't it, for us? We got a little bit of a scare when they got their second. Yeah. I think it was a strange one, because I think Allsop was trying his best not to let it in at the near post, and basically it went under his legs into the far post. But yeah, after that it got better. There's a great goal by Harris, even better goal I thought by Dowell, and then obviously to get Dukey to score at the end was just the icing of the cake, wasn't it? And
yeah,
I was a bit jealous watching it on the TV because I thought, I just want to be in there with everybody else, but it was fantastic. And to be fair to you, the best part of that was little Reggie, the fan that's run on and celebrated the whole thing, and he's in the middle of the pile up and everything. So what a day for him to go. And you can imagine that could be, I hope not, but that could be the last goal Dukes ever scores for Blues, and what a great memory for everybody.
Yeah. Did himself as well. I mean, he'll look back on those photos when he's older later in life and think, wow, something special for him to cherish. But yeah, no, I think overall it's been a good week for us. And I think to be honest, you mentioned Luke Harris there, Mark, and I think that was the best I've seen him play for us in that little when he came on. I thought he played really well when he came on, didn't he, Craig?
Yeah, well, I mean, all of them. To come on in the situation where we're ahead in the game. And you could tell that straight away that Davies had just told them, go out, score goals. Because nothing changed in terms of the way that they were. Harris's goal was superb, not just with the finish itself, but the setup in the first place. He was there and involved. He's run through the middle. I will say their defence, as we got towards the latter part of the game, was freaking, wasn't it? I mean, every time that ball went forward, we seem to have that, obviously utilising that extra player and having opportunities. But yeah, he played really well. But as did, in all honesty, the rest of them, I thought, as a team, that's up there with one of the best team performances, because it's right what Claire said, and Mark. Barnsley really could have shut up shop, but they didn't. They actually made that change just after the red card. And I thought that their forward play, their breakaway was phenomenal at times. And they could, and most definitely would have given us a better game had it have been 11v11. But I haven't seen limbs or I haven't heard noise for a very, very, very long time like that in the Tilton. And do you know what? I mean, people talk about the Newcastle game and how loud it was at the Newcastle game. I think that bettered it.
Yeah.
And that's without a full house. I really do think it bettered it. And Djukovic's interview, he is just a manager in the waiting. He is going to be a phenomenal coach to somebody in the future. And I desperately hope that it'll be involvement with Birmingham. I think, I really do believe that they will be trying hard to keep him in some way, shape or form at the club. Is it going to be a player? Well, it might be another Ruddy. Let's have him in the squad just in case. But, in the Championship, unfortunately, I don't see him getting a kick, but maybe if we're in the cup games in the early stages, he might get on the pitch. But it was just brilliant to see. And the amount of people that have said they shed a tear, and the amount of people that got so, they're just bought into him as an individual. I've seen a couple of comments on the message board, right, and I think it's a real great shout. We've seen some great goals at St Andrews this season. But actually, if that's his one and only goal of this season and his last goal of the season and his last goal of his career playing for Birmingham, there is no better way of rewarding it than having it as goal of the season.
It's not going to beat Tomoki Iwata's against Newcastle, though, is it?
No. In terms of goals and the way that they've been scored, I totally agree. But
I think a sentimental goal of the season. They're bringing another prize.
Well, do they have moment of the season sometimes at the awards?
Yes, they do. I think that would be deserved.
They're only giving out 4 awards, aren't they? They've already said.
I think there is only the potential for the 4. Well, the 4 main ones, isn't it? So, player of the season, young player of the season, goal of the season, and top goal scorer, isn't it? I think is what I've seen.
But isn't it players' player and fans' player as well?
It depends on what they do. They've actually only announced 4 for the Players' Awards. So that's what's come out from the club. So you go by that at the moment, but it'd be a very quick evening if that's the case. So I personally don't think it'll be that way around.
He should get some sort of award or silverware or something.
There'll be something. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him in and around lifting the trophies. So I really do hope.
Isn't he club captain?
He's club captain, yeah.
So if he's club captain, I think he'll be lifted with Clara.
Yeah, but Bielik will probably be in and around it as well. I would have thought, because I don't know if he's going to be obviously involved at all, because I think he's still. I don't know what's happening with.
They've just come out, and I think Clara's captain for.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's the other thing is just going back to Saturday and to Tuesday as well. That never say die attitude is there.
Yeah.
This team they're now not playing to get promoted. They're now not playing to get the champion's position. They're now playing for that record.
Yeah.
You just that mentality. You heard for those that watched it, the interview at the end of the Bristol game. And Keshi Anderson was asked, is that it now? We are, they've lost. You're well ahead. Surely that's enough time for you to think, that's it, we've done it. And his response was just simple. We haven't won anything yet, and we want the records. And it's like, that's down to Chris Davies, that's down to him keeping that mentality, as he's done though.
The thing is,
he's of a game ahead. So he's only thinking about Tuesday. He's not thinking about Wembley.
Can I ask a question, Craig? What on earth does hearing a limb mean?
What does what?
That's what you said. You could hear the limbs.
The limbs, like when they celebrate.
Oh no! I said you could see the limbs and you could hear the noise.
What you mean? The hands going up in the air?
Indeed. You watch the video, and it's
because I think I can't.
The stand's moving.
Hear nothing. Can't hear nothing.
Chris, can you do that? Chris, can you do yours limbs again, please?
Yeah. Can we do it with the noise as well, please? That's just on a roller coaster. What about when they score a goal?
I think I
it takes me 3 seconds to get out of my seat when they score, and all the limbs have gone down when I get up.
Oh, okay. I think
it's 3-2 by the time he'd celebrated the 3-1 goal, wasn't it?
I loved Alfie May's glancing header goal because I was getting Wrexham vibes from Cochrane's cross as well.
Yeah,
again, the Stansfield header. And he's got a great left peg on him, any Cochrane. Player of the season.
I was just about to say that, Paul. You just answered that player of the season. I was going to say that question. I think it's getting harder and harder to select one, isn't it?
Yeah.
For me, it's still Cochrane and Clara are the two that are probably head to head on my point of view, but it's getting harder every game. It really is.
You got Pike in Iwata.
And Stansfield as well.
Yeah.
I listened to a blog this afternoon, and none of those names were mentioned. The name that's on their lips was Anderson.
Keshi Anderson. Yeah. I think if Keshi Anderson had played the whole of the season, I think you said this as well, Paul, he would be player of the season without any question of a doubt. If he had played the whole season.
He's gone from trialist at Solihull Moors to a regular in a team that costs a lot of money. You know what I mean? And hats off. Full credit to him for that, because that takes some doing.
Talking of Solihull Moors, can we say congratulations to Jerry Gill? Becoming the assistant manager at Solihull Moors is going to help massively with that team. Coming home in effect, and I think it's perhaps it's written in the stars that one day it's not just assistant manager, but he'll be top notch at the club. So, congratulations, Jerry, and well done.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also, happy 80th birthday.
Yeah.
To the one and only Barry Fry today. We stayed out on the eve of playing them twice.
Well, he's giving us extra tickets, Craig, so he's in our... We support him.
He's given us 1,600 extra for tomorrow. He wishes he could have given us more at Wembley. I think more will come to light around that actually being maybe the separation and segregation of the fans rather than not actually wanting to sell the tickets. But no, happy birthday, Bazza, from all of us and everybody else at the club as well.
And then, if no one's actually seen the episode with Baz when he joined us a few years ago, do catch up with it on YouTube. We've got the best bits.
Brilliant.
Well.
It's a classic.
We need to get it back on, especially after playing them twice.
I did try for this evening, but unfortunately, I mean, how selfish is this? He could have joined us on Tilton Talk, but instead, his family have arranged a party for his 80th. I mean, what's more important, us or a party?
Some of his stuff he was saying when he came on the show, I think it was about 4 years ago now, wasn't it? Probably about 2021-ish.
Yeah.
Just absolutely hilarious, wasn't it, from start to finish? And he didn't mind his P's and Q's, but at the end of the day, we didn't care, did we? It was just a legendary episode to be involved in.
Yeah.
So,
how that show ever got through Facebook, I have no idea. You know what? I can do two duffs off the Eastender score, and we get shut down.
Right, okay.
Crazy, isn't it?
No, if you haven't seen it, Tilton Talk Show, Barry Fry, into YouTube and enjoy. That's all I'm going to say. And the fastest 50 minutes I ever watched. It just flies when you watch it.
It does, yeah.
We were saying about going back to Wembley for a minute. Some of those lads will be lucky to even get on the bench at Wembley. So you reckon that's give them a bit of fire in the belly, isn't it? It's because some might miss out completely.
Yeah.
Some good players as well.
Do you know what they now should be playing for? What are the additional places going into next season? Though that should be the mentality now. You know, they're going to get through this season. We're going to be winning trophies. We're going to be celebrating. Actually, now the focus should be: I want to be at the club next season. I want to be in the Championship, and we can then name more players. So on that basis, fight for the spots, which I'm sure, you know, the vast majority of them are now. So it's just it's going to be interesting. But there's a comment on here from Pete Taylor. He's just gone, hang on, how long has Mr. Hipkiss been on here now? He's feeling old.
So am I. 7 years. I think it's 7 years. He's coming September time. I think I started 2018.
That's a long time. Actually, you've missed your 5-year star that we used to give out as well now.
I know.
Testimonials soon.
I've got to be due a checkbook and pen soon.
I mean, I don't know who this is, Paul, but somebody's just posted. I think it's terrible. They've just put that you've been on 100 years. I mean, what are they trying to say about you?
I don't know.
Yeah. I know.
Who put that?
I ain't got a clue.
No, we don't know, mate.
Yeah.
Feels like it.
Surname Robe.
Yeah. Any questions on the shout boxes before we're joined by a special guest? And obviously, once we are joined by a special guest, get your questions in, and we'll read out as many as we can and ask as many as we can. But any about the general chat we've had so far?
We've got absolutely loads on YouTube.
Yeah.
Michael said they should go with a strong lineup tomorrow. Go for the record points. Get promotion done and dusted. He says. Yeah. And regarding the goals, the best goals, Watton versus Wrexham and Newcastle are up there. Fortunes have improved since Bellick has gone missing. Sacked off at the end of last season, not rewarded with the captain's armband. And I'll read this last one here. Regarding Wembley, remember anyone travelling by train to Wembley, they have been cancelled from Birmingham and other stations, so we'll have to find alternative route to get there.
Let me give some clarity on that. They are cancelled on the Chilton line. Everywhere else is running. So
I hope so.
Chilton line is the one that doesn't have trains from Birmingham, Solihull, Dorridge, or Warwick. They are starting at Warwick Parkway.
When was the last time we saw 6 at home? Was it Reading under Harris?
It's got to be Reading, yeah.
It's got to be Reading.
It was definitely cold. It was definitely
Fulham. I thought we came
Just
Fulham
before the 7th goal. Yeah.
In the league. Sorry, in the league.
Oh, in the league, yeah, it's got to be Reading.
It's got to be Reading, yeah.
I'm not including Fulham under 21s.
Okay. Well, it was Reading then.
Are we counting this as our battering another team, or?
No, I still, you know what? I think we could score more against somebody.
But
they will, it's going to sound daft, but they'll relax. And when we relax, I think as a team, we're even more dangerous than we are going into the games at the moment. Because things naturally flow.
We're just better with Alfie May through the middle and Stansfield to the left.
Yeah.
Kieran Dowell is brilliant behind in the 10.
Yeah.
Anderson on the right. That's the perfect 4 for me personally. I like Williams. I think he was brilliant earlier in the season, but we've got to get that player back. and I'm not writing him becoming that player again, and he could possibly be better at a high level as well in the Championship.
Yeah.
So we've got somebody called Kevin Francis trying to get in. Shall I name him?
Go on.
I think we should. It's quite hard, I've heard.
It could be anybody, but you know.
He'll kick the doors down in a minute.
While we are waiting for our guest to join, I've got to say that Pete Taylor, I was going to say that Bill Mint has made a point here which people's thoughts on it. He's put, Clara will give Duke the armband if he comes on Sunday.
Yeah.
If that's the case, does he then, if he, hands it over, if we've won it, he's the one that lifts the trophy, so that'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
I think they'll double lift it. I think they'll
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don Kavanagh, Clara's player of the season. Keshi has been great too.
Yeah. Sorry, Craig, just a second. Ladies and gentlemen, for the second time, I'm absolutely delighted to welcome Blues legend and one of our best ever strikers of the 90s, Mr. Kevin Francis. How are you?
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm not too bad.
Good. You're looking well, mate. I've got your shirt on.
I was going to wear mine, but I got to shoot out the door straight to work. So,
oh, have you?
It would look a bit off on the street.
I don't know. You can spread the word. You can spread the word there. You know what I mean? We're taking over the rest of the world. So why not in Canada as well?
Exactly.
Hey, Kev, you have 1 clock with the English time and then 1 clock with the Canadian time behind you there.
I'm doing it, man. I'm spreading the word. I'm infecting everyone everywhere I go. Yeah. That's just I'll keep hold of my sisters.
Yeah.
And there's another 2 with Australia and St. Kitts as well.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so welcome back, mate. It's great to get you on again. It's been a few years, hasn't it, to be fair, since you last came on. And what you've been up to, really, over the last few years since you last came on. How's life treating you?
Well, first of all, thanks for the invite, mate. Obviously, I couldn't have been that bad, but it did take you a while to call me back. No, I've just been working towards retirement, so I've been like another 2 years to go, and that's me done. I've finished.
Yeah.
But mainly just been sitting back and watching how Blues are being progressed. I've just been coaching over here. I've just finished 9 years at the university now. So it's time to relax a little bit and look after myself.
Yeah, brilliant, absolutely. And your memories of, obviously, you played the last time we played at Wembley in this match that we're playing this coming Sunday, which is now called the Virtue Trophy, and back then it was the Auto Windscreen Shield. Give us sort of your memories, build up to the game, and what did Baz say in the dressing room before and after the game as well, and maybe at half time as well, because obviously it was 0-0, wasn't it, right till the end?
It'll be a short show if I got to tell you what Baz was saying. I mean, for me, is for being a fan as well. So before that, then my historic Wembley trip started with Lyle and Daff, and that was where I think every kind of decent generation of Blues fans is getting this little bit of a taste of it now. And now the current Gen X's or Gen Z's, whatever you want to call them, are getting it now with us going on Sunday. Once we actually got to the final, it felt like the longest, 3 or 4 weeks to get there, because everyone's trying not to get hurt and get injured. People who are injured were trying to get back fit. It didn't necessarily guarantee you a spot, because obviously Baz liked his selection, and with 50-odd players vying for 11 positions, and I think back then it was we had 4 subs, was it? 3 subs?
3, yeah.
So and then everyone's vying just for those positions. So a lot of the guys were tiptoeing through the tulips, in training and in the lead-up games. But atmosphere-wise, it was fantastic. You couldn't go anywhere without seeing blue and white across the whole city and people shouting out and just celebrating the club. And I think these these occasions kind of give everyone a taste and reminder of this is what we should be doing on a bit more of a regular basis, is it? For the size of club that we are.
Yeah.
It's nice to see that it's going along that way now, where we're trying to get things right off the pitch first and then fixing it on the pitch, and then, trying to promote growth from within. And from a fan and a player's perspective, that's good to see.
Yeah. I think they're doing both at the same time, aren't they? It's phenomenal off the pitch. Obviously, the improvements at St Andrews and the training grounds and around the stadium is just incredible in such a short space of time. And the difference in the team from this time last year. And I know we're playing at a level lower, but you can still see the quality of player that we've got compared to what we had this time last year as well. So yeah, I think it's definitely bright, isn't it?
I think we may have another guest coming through. Somebody called Ricky Otto. I can't remember.
Oh, okay. When did you last speak to Ricky, Kev?
No clue.
I probably last messaged Ricky when it was probably over Christmas. I messaged him to try and meet up. But I had a lot of stuff going on, so we couldn't make it happen.
Okay. Was you at the 91 as well? Was you against Tranmere, Kev? Was you at that game as well? Was you at that game?
No, I was actually working.
Oh, was you? Okay.
Oh, speak of the devil.
And then take yourself off mute, Ricky, and turn your phone around the other way, mate, on landscape.
No, leave him on mute, mate.
That's typical of Snoop, isn't it? Huh? Typical to start off with abuse.
Ladies and gentlemen,
you only abuse the ones you love, Rick.
Very true. I like that one. How you doing, big fella?
I'm doing well, mate. Good to see you. Sorry I didn't catch up with you over Christmas, mate.
Yeah. Because I was looking for you everywhere, and I said to myself, all I need to do is just look up. Just look up, and I'll find you.
Yeah, absolutely. and everyone, welcome for your hat-trick ball, your third appearance on the show, Ricky, because if you remember, you did a little cameo when Tatey came on as well and surprised him. Do you remember that?
I remember that, yeah. Gosh, time is flying, isn't it?
Yeah. I think your debut was about 2021 as well, just before Kev came on, and then you surprised Tatey not long after that. And here you are now for the third time.
Excellent.
So, mate, what's good to have you back on.
Yeah, good to be here, man. Good to be here.
Just reminiscing with Kev about the 95 final, because obviously we're about to play in this game again, and, it's now called the Virtue Trophy, and back then when you guys played, it was the Auto Windscreen Shield, and we're just reminiscing about sort of like the lead up to the final and Baz's team talk before, maybe at half-time and after the game as well. But Kev said it would be a pretty short show if he told us what Baz said in the dressing room before the game.
It's effing and blinding. Nothing normal. No, I mean, from what I can remember, I think, to be fair, we was... I think we were quietly confident going into this game. Do you know what I mean? Because at that time, the season was going well. I think when we actually went into that final, we were sitting second.
Yeah.
But if we beat Brentford on the Wednesday, then we'll top them. So we was pretty... things were going well at the time. And so we went into this Carlisle game and we were quietly confident, but I think there was also a kind of a feeling like we dare not lose this game. Do you know what I mean? Not because, Carlisle was a league... I'm sure they were a league down from us. But because of the massive support that we had, and actually on the day... Well, the lead up, the whole week leading up to the final, you kind of grasp the enormity. Well, for me, because I know, Kev, you grew up a Blue Nose, and so you know how huge the club is. You live literally opposite there. But for me, that was one of those moments where you kind of realise, this is huge. The lead up to the week, everyone's excitement, anticipation. And then actually... when we was driving down Wembley Way, I think that took most of us as players, because most of us, were born in England, grew up in England, grew up under the FA Cup, seeing Wembley Way and just seeing a sea of blue fans coming to the stadium, there was just kind of a feeling that we can't lose this. Whatever we do, we can't lose this. So, yes, we was quietly confident, but, I think it was focus to make sure we didn't lose. I can't remember much about Barry's team talk, because really Steenie used to do most of it.
Okay.
Yeah. To be fair, I think Baz was pretty quiet in the dressing room.
Yeah.
Beforehand.
No.
Yeah.
What did you do to him? How did you keep him quiet?
I think he was enjoying the day himself, isn't it?
Yeah, he was. Obviously, his kids are running around the changing room like they normally do.
Yeah.
But I think it was a good occasion for him, and for his managerial record, and to get there and to lead the team out, I think he was buzzing. He was like a little kid.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, half time, it was kind of I'm remembering it now. It was kind of a strange team talk, because there wasn't that much swearing, and we could see we were kind of on top, and we just needed to convert chances. And at that point, it was we're coming in there at half time expecting the normal Baz, just remembering the last three people who made the last three mistakes and drag them off. But he didn't do anything. He didn't change anything.
Yeah,
he just let it flow and let us go out there. So that was probably one of the most surreal, Barry moments of playing for Birmingham City. Was he was just trying to take it all in.
Yeah,
and I think in the back, like Ricky said, in the background, there was still the game against Brentford coming up, and I think that because like the same situation we're in now, it's like, you know, go out tomorrow night, put a strong team out, and get it won and done and dusted, or do we save bodies for like next Sunday? You know what I mean? That's obviously the managerial headache, and his was like, you know, I need to carry people through and make sure I've got people fit for the Brentford game. But that being said, like, he makes that many changes anyway. And then, like I said, unfortunately, we got injuries like in that game anyway. So
just a question, Kev, on that. I remember you colliding with the goalkeeper and lying in a heap for a while. What was your mindset then? Did you think you were ever going to have to go off the field, or what was your thinking at that time?
Yeah, just on the collision itself and hitting the deck, it didn't feel right. I knew something was wrong. It didn't feel right, and then probably in this day and age, like VAR would have jumped all over it, and I got something back for it because I got there first. And then standing up, it didn't feel too bad, and then like it felt stable. And then every time I checked on it, there was just nothing there. There was like no support. And then it was like Baz kept saying, Stina kept shouting, "Oh, you're all right, big man, you're all right." And I was just lying through my teeth. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not coming off." And like Ricky said, with the build up of getting there, having been there like 3 times before and lost every single time, it was like, not again. And even Baz used to say, I would say he was joking, but he probably wasn't. He used to say, like, "You're a jinx." He said, "I'm probably not going to play here." He said, "You're not very good at Wembley." And then when I got hurt, I was like thinking, like, maybe I shouldn't have played.
That whole 3 times for Stockport, was it? Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, 4th time, look, yeah.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, like the boy. Eventually, the boys took care of it. Like, decent, great service from Ricky. I mean, he could have put one of those in for me, but there you go. He finished by Tatey, and like we ended up doing it anyway. So so it all worked out in the end.
Yeah. Did you two know each other well before Blues, or was you? I guess you passed cross against each other at times, did they?
Just on the pitch.
Yeah, I think on the pitch. Yeah. I remember once we played. I'm just trying to remember. I think it might have been with Orient.
Yeah, you were at Orient at the time.
I was in Orient at the time, isn't it? And we played, and all the way down to Stockport, all the conversation was about this 6'7" guy. That's all it was. It wasn't about the other 10, just this guy. But you were scoring goals for fun as well. So I think there was inevitability that you're probably going to score. And the conversation was, well, how do you manage a 6'7" guy? And I mean, I've had the unfortunate pleasure of getting close to Kevin, and he's all bones and elbows and knees and ankles, man. And you go next to him, you come away with some kind of bruise, you know what I mean? So I can't remember what the score was, but yeah, we crossed paths maybe a couple of times.
Yeah.
But to be fair, when I signed, and I think it was a couple of months after, when Kev signed, you know what I mean? The connection seemed like we knew each other anyway. And
yeah, it was easy. It was simple to get on.
And you missed Ricky's debut, Kev, which was one of the most memorable debuts in our club's history.
Yeah. Never going to forget that, innit?
Goal of the season, that header, to be fair, wasn't it?
Well, I'm passionate about scoring goals, isn't it?
I've actually got a message for you both. And it is from your old gaffer. We did try and get him to join us tonight, but if you're both not aware, he is actually 80 today. So he's celebrating his birthday with the family. But he said to send on all of his love and best wishes, because Big Kev and Ricky were fantastic for me. And what they did in and around Birmingham City to make it the best 2.5 years of my life is just unrecognisable. They were passionate and mad, and I'm just now delighted for the club and the fans as they progress forwards. So he asked me to read that out, but we mentioned it earlier. But again, happy birthday, Baz.
Yeah. 80. My goodness. He looks well as well, because I'm sure I saw a podcast that he was on literally about 5-6 weeks ago. And he looked very well.
Yeah,
no, it's good. He looks good.
He was on Sports not long ago, just after, it was obviously confirmed that we were playing each other in the final. Sports, didn't he, and did a little cameo. So
I think we're moving himself from the pitch side and going upstairs, as that years onto his life. Because if he hadn't, then he would have had a jammer for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
You can't keep going at that pace, or the pace that he used to go at. and think that you're going to like just keep surviving and doing that for the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah.
So I think him stepping down and going upstairs was good for him. But I mean, he was going to go down as one of our iconic managers. He was great for me. He brought me back home. You know what I mean? He surrounded himself with talent that could do a job. And it was like, the way I used to look at it was like Baz would make a jigsaw and it'd be perfect, like rectangle, but all the pictures inside would be different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So because he just got players that like fit in and he just made it work that way. And it was good for me that he saw me, that I could do a job for him there. And it was great. Timing was good. Got promotion. We won at Wembley. And, you know, we just went from strength to strength. And he just made a building platform for whoever came in next. And I think he was that.
Yeah. And would you say Steve Claridge, obviously that partnership, I remember it vividly. It was enjoyable to watch. And would you say it was the best player you ever played with up front in your time, Kev?
Technically wise, yeah, he would be. I mean, I had a great partnership with Andy Priest at Stockport.
Yeah.
But with Cleggy, like, I mean, because he was unselfish as well, like his work rate and his work, you know, on and off the ball was great.
Yeah.
And he was a bit of a foil for me. Like, he used to, in a dressing room, we used to say, just don't listen to him. As soon as we were walking in the door, he said, just don't listen to him. Just don't listen to him. Right? And then whenever he used to rear up and lose his mind, and I think Cleggy's not been on, he's been on, I can't remember what he was on.
Under the cosh.
Yeah, and he related the story when like he just kicked off. And like he said, I'm Kev shrinking. No, I don't shrink from anyone, mate. So that was a lie. I was just sitting there staring at him and I just couldn't believe what was going on. And I'm like, what have I joined? So what have I come down to? And then suddenly he nudged me and said, I think he likes you, big man. I'm like, Jesus, I'd hate to see if you hated somebody.
I think if you shrink, he's bigger than all of us.
Character.
Go on, Mark.
I said, I think if Kev shrinks, he's still bigger than all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
That's a question for both of you, really. From me, I think, you know, going into this Sunday's one, we've you know, pretty much got promotion now. And, it's, you know, even if we don't get it tomorrow, we're probably going to get it, you know, on Good Friday. But it was a little bit closer in 95 when you went into the final and knowing that you were still second, and then you had that big game on the Wednesday night at home to Brentford. Was that on your mind at all going into the Wembley one, or did you just take in game by game?
I think for myself, if I'm honest, again, I think we was on a bit of a roll, so confidence was high, and we were looking forward to Brentford, and make no bones about it, we wanted to win. Do you know what I mean? Because it was kind of neck and neck for large parts of the season, and they were playing well as well. You know, they were in form as well. But I think we just knew, like, Wembley wasn't a distraction because for many of us, believe it or not, because that was the old Wembley. And most of us grew up on the old Wembley. So it was historical, traditional, it was British, it was everything for many of us as players to go there. So it wasn't a distraction. It was just a game knowing that if we win this game at Wembley, it's going to be very difficult to topple that on Wednesday, even though we knew Wednesday was a huge game, because we didn't want to just get promoted. We wanted to win.
Do the double, yeah.
We wanted to win the second division and do the double. So, yes, your mind's on each game, but equally, yeah, of course, we've got Brentford in mind. And I think even in the changing room, you know, Baz and some of the coaching staff were saying, listen, don't do anything silly because we don't want no injuries. Do you know what I mean? Yes, you know, play your normal game, but don't do anything silly because at the end of the day, got an important game on Wednesday and we want everyone to kind of be as fit as possible, knowing that if we won, confidence is going to be sky high. And I think it was a packed house that Wednesday. And I mean, you can feel it in the atmosphere, man.
Yeah.
You know, I just remember walking out there for a warm-up and you felt it. And what I felt was like, listen, there can only be one result here today.
Yeah.
Not even a draw is good enough because everyone was buzzing from Wembley and coming here. We knew we had to do a job. And I think it was like Wembley, we're not losing this.
Yeah,
we're not losing this.
Yeah.
Not this game.
It felt more like a good distraction than another pressure game going to Wembley. It kind of took for like 48 hours or so, it just took your mind off what was coming like league wise.
Yeah.
Because the fact that we can go there and to an extent, like probably not the right word, but to an extent go and relax and not worry about the league. And that was just something else that we need to focus on come Tuesday when we're reporting back in for training.
Yeah.
So for me personally, it wasn't on my mind when we strolled out of Wembley. It was good to enjoy the occasion and so on, because it passes by real quick. And I think that was one of the things I said to Ricky. I said, like, I've been here 3 times before and I can't remember it. I said, you don't remember the lead up to it. I said, you don't remember the game. You remember bits and bobs of the game. You remember scoring and so on. But it passes by real quick. And then before you know it, you sat in the dressing room, you were drinking champagne, or you sat there sulking because you lost. Yeah. It goes by that quick. But we didn't even have that window. Once it was, thankfully we won, but once it was done, it was like focus on what's coming on Wednesday night. Yeah. And like I said, the build up. And for me, it was like just 2 days in the hospital getting fluid drawn off my knee so I could play.
Yeah.
And
going back onto Brentford, they would have had a certain Martin Granger at left back, wouldn't they, in that team?
And to be fair, you've got to remember, it was on the supporters' minds as well.
Yeah.
Let's not be fooled. The supporters was going down to Wembley knowing that, listen, the real proper game is Wednesday. Because remember, we were sitting second.
Yeah.
And it was billed that whoever wins this game, you're pretty much going on to win the league, because I don't think there was many games left. When was the final again?
No, it was a 6-pointer, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
End of April, that was.
That was end of April, isn't it? So there's only a few games left. So whoever won if Brentford would have won that game, probably momentum would have carried on for them, because they would have been about 3-4 points clear.
Yeah.
3. So we knew we had to win this game to give ourselves the best possible chance of finishing off winning the league, and that's what we done.
Yeah, definitely. And I've got to correct myself here, Kev, about your strike partners, because a certain Paul Devlin might be watching, and if he's not, he might catch up, and he will remind me that I forgot to mention him about strike partners. So obviously, I've mentioned Steve Claridge, but obviously, Dev, you played up front with Dev, didn't you? I particularly remember the Stevenage game where you both scored. Was in the cup, wasn't it? But you played with Dev a few times, didn't you, up front?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I mean, it's a completely different striker in the way of build and shape than Cleggy is. But another unselfish person, like he's running off the ball was great, and he's finishing, I'd say, probably a little bit better than Cleggy's.
Yeah.
But he was a foil. He would also do things that Cleggy wouldn't do. He would stick his head in. He would try and go up for headers and so on.
Yeah.
But it was for gelling with partners and getting it to click really quickly. Like he was one of the easiest. It was just like we played together before.
Yeah.
Didn't have to figure out runs. Didn't have to figure out timing and whatnot. He just clicked. But yeah, Dev was another good foil for sure.
Yeah. Now Claire, obviously being the youngest of us all, any memories of Ricky and Kev as players for us at all? I guess you've seen the footage, haven't you?
I've seen footage, but I mean, the 1995, I would have only been nearly 4. So.
Stop rubbing it in.
Oh dear. That's messed a few of us up with it. Great here, isn't it? Thanks for
I've been told a lot of things, but I've heard lots of stories and seen some of the goals and things like that. So
yeah.
An interesting point Paul made on the message board actually, and the guys, I suppose this resonates because of the league in effect that we're in, but this season. So, Kev, you were back and you were at the Birmingham game against Stockport.
Yeah.
Ricky, I believe you were player of the day a few weeks ago at St Andrews. You've mentioned Cleggy. Cleggy was there against, what was it now? It was Cambridge. And so we go into a season where potentially we can win a double. The last time it was done, you were all part of that team. And all across this season, you've all been to the games. So people are saying, you are lucky omens and that you need to start coming down more. And we've also had one. Ian Clayton has said, Ricky and Kev complemented each other in the Blues team. Ricky's delivery to Kev's height worked well. But also Kev was pretty good with the ball at his feet. His one goal versus Middlesbrough stands out as a goal finish, but the Leeds goal was totally sublime.
Yeah.
And I've got to say, still one of the cleanest strikes I've seen up until Iwata, but funnily enough, into the same end.
Yeah. Kev, have you still got the earring and the thick gold chain?
Yeah, the earring not so much now for work, but yeah, it's all there. Never leave home without it, mate.
Love it.
I was going to say, I've got a question for Kev, and Ricky as well. Going back to Wembley, the day before and you were sort of relaxing in the hotel or whatever, how did Baz get you to relax? Were you like excited or did you get much sleep? What happened? How do you sort of calm it all down?
Be careful, Ricky. Remember what you said last time, how you relaxed?
Well, I do remember, because obviously the hotel we stayed in was down south, innit? So it's a hotel that we used to stay in for when I used to play for Orient. So I remember during the daytime when we got down there, I think it was me, Dave Barnett, Shearer, and Chris White. We went over to my mum to have some food. So we didn't get back to the hotel till about maybe 6:30, 7.
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by CarWow. Now, I might talk about cars a lot, but I'm not exactly known for my incredible parking ability. Honestly, I get lost in most car parks. Thankfully, though, I had a quick look on CarWow, watched some of the video reviews, and found out my dream car had the option for a top-down camera. It's basically a cheat code for getting into even the tightest spaces. I still need to work on finding the exit in the car park, but that's on me. Anyway, that was a deal breaker. I was sold, and CarWow helped me get a great offer without having to ring around and try and explain what I wanted multiple times. It was a huge bonus that I could sit and do it while I sat on the sofa, because as much as I love a free coffee at a car dealership, I'm also quite a busy person. Changing your car can be quite a daunting experience. It can feel really complicated, and there's so much choice that sometimes feels a bit overwhelming. CarWow has taken all of that away. It's a car-changing destination with absolutely no agenda, great prices, and whether you're buying or selling, you can have everything you want without any stress. If you want your car change to feel life-changing, then CarWow is the solution. Car change. CarWow. T's and C's apply. See carwow.co.uk/verify for details.
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
And yeah, to be fair, I mean, everything was quite relaxed, really. Like I said, most of the boys got on with each other. And again, you have to remember, back then, there weren't no things like iPads and
no mobile,
stuff like that. So it was literally, I think a few guys was playing cards. Some of us were just by the bar area, just talking. And some just went to their room. So in many cases, it was just a normal evening. But I think everyone just wanted to not go too stupid. Not that we ever did, but, I think people wanted to just stay local, get a good night's sleep, because I think we all knew, 55,000 tickets were sold. And if I'm honest, we all just wanted to savor the day. So the last thing we wanted to suffer with is not being able to sleep and getting up tired. So everything, from what I remember, it was quite relaxed. But like I said, we drove down early on that day, had something to eat, and then met up with the rest of the lads about 6:30.
How did it feel walking out of that massive sea of blue at the old Wembley? I can't imagine anything better. I mean, I can see the picture now in my mind with Baz and his son leading us out, and obviously, you all follow him, and that must have been incredible, mustn't it?
I still watch it now sometimes, truth be told.
Yeah.
Because I know when I first started playing football, one of the old pros said to me, he said, "Rick, enjoy it, man, because it goes quick."
Yeah.
And when you're young, you say, "Yeah, you're all right, man. You're going out, man. You're old." But it does. And it's only when you finish playing that you kind of remember the enormity of what you've done. Even like when I go to the games, you do sit down there and you do reminiscing yourself as you're watching, being a fan. And you kind of have to pinch yourself a little bit and think, gosh, you know, once upon a time I was out there.
Yeah.
And, you know, to many footballers live their whole career and don't get to play at Wembley.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a privilege that I even got there once because, listen, we're talking about some great players, top players that have never got to Wembley, much less walk up those 39 steps. So you're right. Again, for most of us, it started from when we left the hotel and the coach. And the anticipation just grew the closer you got to Wembley. When you got into the North Circular, you know you're close. And then when you get around to a certain part of North Circular and you see Wembley on the sign, everyone's playing it cool, got their sunglasses on. But, you know, inwardly, we're like, my goodness, I want the window seat, you know. But by the time we got to Wembley Way, for me, that's when it started. That's when you had to enjoy it, but you had to kind of just lock in.
Yeah.
And make sure that you don't play the occasion.
Yeah, 100%.
Play the game.
Yeah.
So for me, it started from the coach journey, and I allowed myself just enough to enjoy seeing all the fans, and then walking out. Wow. Like I said, I still watch it now.
Yeah,
I still watch it now. I don't recognize myself
It was
because
different class.
you know that person was slim. I still watch it now because again, for me, I think it's history.
Yeah,
and like I said, many top players have never done that. So, you know, and then again, to win and to walk around the stadium and just to see all the fans happy, you just know they're going home happy. That 2-hour journey is going to be nothing, you know. Anyone who says they don't watch it now, I don't know what's wrong with you. You ain't got no emotions or something, because it's still something. Every now and then I just find myself just flicking through certain games, and sometimes just reminding yourself that, you know what, I actually did do something that you could be proud of, and to play for a big club.
Yeah.
What more could you ask for?
Brilliant. And you remember, obviously, we all remember Tatey's T-shirt. Did you know anything about that before the game yourselves? No, nothing.
No, he hid that from everyone. That was a classic Tatey move, that was.
Yeah, brilliant.
There's a great question come through on YouTube from Blue Shadow, and what he said is, question to both Ricky and Kev, do you think the team of 95, if they were put in comparison to today's team, which one would be better?
Oh, that'd be a good game, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I think it'd be a fantastic game because you'd have, you know, my head says a hard, no-nonsense team from 95 against a team that likes to pass it around. And actually, I think I'd favour the hard, no-nonsense team over the two of them.
They had some artists in that team in 95.
Listen, in our 95 team, we'll give a couple of them, giving them a couple of kicks. They won't want that ball. they won't be able to pass.
Yeah,
trust me, I can just see someone like Dave Barnett or Liam Daish just bang.
Yeah. Imagine the pair of them standing beside Stans.
Stansfield, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We know how to deal with all these ballers.
He'd have his own Twin Towers.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're right,
well, we showed that against Liverpool, didn't we, in the Cup?
Yeah.
We more than matched that day, didn't we?
It's wrong of us not to mention that so far, isn't it, Ricky, that goal at Anfield? I mean, we obviously spoke about it on here before, but wow. I mean, what a moment that was for you.
Yeah, another video I watch often.
Got it on now, I'm sure, in a second.
Anyone would think I don't watch anything else but myself. Wasn't that the day, Snoop, that you signed, or was it just a couple of days before? Because I know you came to the game, didn't you?
Yeah, I came to the game, and then the day after, like, everything was finalised.
Yeah, I just thought, because I just had to show him that, listen, man, you don't need him, man. You don't need him, man.
And that's what I was thinking. I'm like, wow. I said, is this going to change his mind?
Look what I'm doing at Anfield. What you need him for? But no, in all honesty, I think that Anfield game, it was nuts. Because again, remember, we drew at St Andrews, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we took the replay. And again, if people would be honest, as players, we are fans.
Yeah.
You know, we were young kids growing up. And when I was growing up, you know, in the 70s, and literally 80s, Liverpool was just the Man United of the 1990s, literally.
Yeah.
And so going to that replay, you know, you're going to Anfield, you want to respect the place and everything. But again, it's one of those occasions where you want to play the game and not the occasion. And in the first half, Barry, he put me as a striker. Now, I'm a winger. And I remember, all I remember is the ball coming to me and Razor Rudder just went right through me. I didn't know where the ceiling or the grass was. I just like, and playing centre forward, it's a different kettle of fish than playing out wide. And so I had a stinker.
Not easy, is it, Rick?
No, it's not easy. I had a stinker. I mean, I was fuming. When we went into the changing room, I gave Barry everything. I mean, I just let rip on him, and he was arguing with me, and I was arguing with him, and I'm just trying to say to him, put me in my natural position. And anyway, he done that. And second half, I don't think even Liverpool fans would disagree that we silenced the cop.
Yes.
We silenced the cop. And even when I scored, really, 6-7 minutes later, I should have scored again if I'd have swung my right foot and not tried to hit it with the outside of my left. We could have won.
Yeah, even the goal they scored was a fluke, wasn't it? Off the bar and off Benno and back in the net.
Yeah.
You know, that was unlucky, weren't it?
Yeah.
But no, good times, and just great times to live through as a teenager as well for me. I mean, I was 16 then, you know what I mean? So it was a nice big fit jet black hair and everything. You wouldn't believe it. So
no way.
No
way.
We want photo evidence of that, Paul. We don't believe it.
Yeah, that kid on what's the kid's name on Up? The Disney cartoon Up. I look like the kid.
Oh yeah, the old man.
Yeah, I look like him.
Kev, I'd still like. We nearly got to that story when Grange kicked you in the Brentford game, and I think that was the end of your season, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, well, it was when we scored actually from the corner.
Well, you scored, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then obviously Grange got there in normal Grange time, which was late.
Like he's trained now, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It's great knockback from Dacey as usual. One bounce, swivel kick top of the net. I was actually turning to push away, and he was still sliding in. So he took one knee out, and then obviously when he came down, everything just buckled and went. And then all them clowns jumped on top of me as well, and I'm screaming because it's hurting. They're screaming because we just scored, and I just remember just rolling off the pitch, and they asked me done. But I was happy with it. We scored, we won, sort of thing. And then I think the day that I went in for surgery was like the last game of the season, and we needed to win it, and that was it. It was cemented, and I was supposed to go down under the knife at like 10 o'clock, and I kept pushing it back, telling the surgeon, "Can you push it back? Can you push it back? Can you do someone else?" So I think just as we scored, he came in and said, "That's it, you got to go. This is like running out of time," sort of thing. So like. I remember like putting the mask on and getting gas in the air and whatnot, with a big stupid grin on my face, like counting the money in my head like that we just got.
And then when he went on to sign for us, Kev, obviously, I guess you reminded him of that, did he? On his first day for the club?
Yeah, and he used to just tell us stories when he came up to Stockport, and I think there was one game he was coming back from injury and he was sat on the bench, and we were just kicking off, and he sat on the bench and he's just like he's being typical Grange mouth. He goes, "Oh, Francis," he said, "he's gonna get you." He said, "In there, the fullback, he's gonna get you." This is like that. So we done our normal kickoff, like 2 touch in the middle, swing it out over the right back's head, and I'll just put him into the stand. And as I'm jogging back, I said to Grange, I said, "You need to go and help him, mate. He's like, the boy's struggling."
Yeah, we had him on. We had Grange on not too long ago. It was a great show, great episode, and even he said that, like, you know, he's one of his regrets from his career is not playing at Wembley. So he never played at Wembley himself, because obviously in the finals he played for us. Back then it was when Wembley was being rebuilt, wasn't it? And it was in Cardiff.
Yeah,
of course. Yeah.
So he'd have loved to have played at Wembley. He said it a few times, didn't he, when he was on with us? But Alan, any other good memories of these two legends from your time going?
Well, yeah, they were a great pair, and they played at an altitude that other people only dreamed about. I used to get worried that Kev was going to smash his head on the crossbar when he was knocking these in, and those sort of centres were too high for normal people. But he used to get to them, and I loved that. One thing I always used to think about was people would say, "Well, you got to play the ball in the air to Kev," and I say, "No, put it on the floor, because he's got 6.5 foot legs that you trap the ball and the centre half's 2.5 yards away. He can't get anything to it. Give it to him on the floor." and I used to think that was the best part of your game, Kev, to be honest. The heading ability, or if you can't head the ball from that height, and you're nothing. But on the floor, you had an advantage that, I mean, I won't say you didn't use, because you did, and people fed off you, especially him, and in the box you'd go.
Yeah. I think
it was the best in terms of fun, sheer fun.
Oh yeah, fun years.
It was the best season ever.
Definitely.
You never got a dull game at Sid. Even if you got beat, it was always something to enjoy. I remember the game at Swansea when Dacey tried to break the centre forward in half and give a penalty away, and was lucky not to be sent off. We lost 1-0. But we battered them, and it was such good football to watch. I saw 146 games that year of people in Birmingham City shirts, from the first team who played 60 odd, the reserves who probably played 60 odd, and the youth team probably played a dozen or so. I used to go everywhere, and I never got tired of going. Even if it was, I mean, we talked about the final. We had a reserve match on the Friday night before the Sunday, and after there was people in that side. Tatey played in the reserve, and of course they wanted to get in the final side, and it was absolute ding dong game. I think won it, and Tatey got his place in the squad in the end. I don't know. I can't remember who else played, but there were people that were in contention for the Sunday playing on Friday night.
You're right, because Tatey was injured and he was coming back from injury, and I think, I mean,
and Gary Cooper as well. He wasn't 100% either.
But the general consensus is everyone knew that Tatey was a mad blue nose.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so I think, when we actually reached the final, I can't remember if he might have been playing but got injured. But then the clock was ticking for him, because, in fairness, it's almost like that final wouldn't have had everything in it if Tatey was left out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think to a large degree, Tatey was always that link between the fans to Tatey to the players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, in the coming weeks, listen, man, he was working like a demon. Do you know what I mean? And respect to Baz. Because Baz gave him every opportunity up until that Friday to kind of just declare himself fit, just so he can come and be a part of the squad. And look what he done. He repaid Baz by getting fined for that T-shirt.
Brilliant, yeah. And Craig, what's 1995 Craig looking like then? Full head of hair, I guess, and big afro maybe?
Well, what can I say? I mean, I didn't have as much missing at the front, and I actually still remember that day, because it was the first time I went in 91 was travelling with my dad, and the second time was I travelled down with my friend, and we got sold off because we went on the official Blues coaches, but before we got on them, we both sprayed our hair blue. When we got off the coach, we turned the seats blue. So we got into trouble as we were getting off the coach, but I mean, what a day. I do remember lining up on Wembley Way and watching the team come in, and I can definitely recall, like Ricky was saying, what that atmosphere was like, because it was just the sea of blue and white, and I thought 91 was impressive. But that's because, when you're younger and stuff and you haven't experienced the games at St Andrews, it's like, that's that fever feeling. But there was something about 95. It was that the build-up, the fact that they were still in the running for the league, I think it just added that extra little bit. And I described our Wembley game on Sunday as being an additional game. Yeah, it's a bonus game, and I think actually going up to 95, it was very, very similar. It was a bonus game. It was something for the fans to enjoy. But most important for every single fan out there was getting out that division. We just missed out staying in that division the season before. And it actually is uncanny when you actually look back over the years and how it compares. Because the 94-95 season was very, very similar to our season last year.
Yeah.
when we came out the end of it, there wasn't this, oh my God, look what's happened. You know, the fans away from home stayed in the stands, and despite the fact of being relegated, as Baz said, they were still there singing his name. They were still there backing the team. And the following season, we did the double.
Yeah.
And it is almost like a carbon copy replay this year. We went away last year thinking, not we're in the doldrums, but actually, this is a reset button. This is going to be enjoyable. We're going to do something special. And everything that was predicted at the end of last season has so far come true.
Yeah.
The difference this time is we're not just going to walk away, I don't feel, with a trophy from Wembley and the championship. You know, we are going to walk away with both of them. A points record. We've already set the record for the numbers of continuous wins in the league. We've already gone on to say the most amount of points. We're going to go on to the most amount of goals. And I tell you what, they're not going to stop until they've taken, for me, every single one of those records. But 95 was a credit to the players that were on the field then. You know, 3 substitutions. You don't see that anymore.
No.
You know, we've got less numbers than what you would have in the Championship, and people still fighting. The difference then was you played with your heart, and everything was on. You know, you didn't leave anything on the field, and that goes for every player that was in that 95 squad. Bayish would head anything that was put in front of him, and I've heard it many a time said, if it was a tank coming towards him, he'd still head the tank. Kev with the, you know, going through, striking the ball as clean as anything, heading the ball when he can. Ricky whipping in the balls. Question for you, Ricky. When you whipped that ball in for Tatey, did you know he was going to put it away?
No, at that time, I think it was just a case of you keep whipping in crosses, you're going to get something. And I think as long as there was bodies in the box, it was just a case of whoever can get their head on it. And I think...
Yo, UK! At BetMGM, we give our players sports betting entertainment like nobody's business. Football, horse racing, darts, boxing, tennis, golf, NFL, NBA. You name it, we got it. Offers? You know it. Bet £10 and get £40 in free bets. BetMGM, it's showtime.
New customers only. Exclusions apply. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly.
I whipped it in with my right foot because I remember drinking back and whipping it in with my right foot. And every time I cross the ball, I'm always looking for that area between the 6-yard and the penalty spot. That sometime I will whip it and I'm not even looking, but I just know that's where I'm looking to cross that ball. And if any of our players can get in front of their man, chances are you're going to get on that first. And 2 things can happen. It can either go straight in or with a glance, it goes to the far post. And if someone's there, they can tap it in. So it wasn't... Remember, it was golden goal as well.
Yeah.
It was golden goal as well. So we'd already done the extra time. And so for me, it was just a case of really just doing something different because most of the crosses I'm trying to cross with my left foot. On this occasion, I just decided to jink in and I just whipped it into that spot. And luckily, Tatey was there. He got his head on it and it just glanced in.
Did you ever look at the scoreboard and think this is going to pens? Hand on heart. Did it cross your mind?
You know what? It didn't. It didn't. Because what I understood about that game, when this is golden goal, it's like it took you back to when you was a child playing Wembley in your flats.
Yeah.
First one scores, wins.
Yeah.
And that's literally what it was. But we had some great chances, and I just knew, you know, as long as they don't get the ball near our area, because every time they got the ball near our area, I was like, oh my God, I was praying. I've never prayed so hard. Please, please, please. Oh, Benon gets it. Oh, good. You know, because again, you didn't want to lose, but it didn't cross my mind. I just knew if we keep plugging away, we can get it. Because I think even though it was a tough game, but I think we was fitter than them, and I think that's why we was able to be on top of them and have most of the possession. But no, it didn't cross my mind. Because if it did, I definitely wouldn't have wanted to go there, because after what happened at Liverpool, no way. No way.
There was no doubt in my mind we weren't coming away from there with a win.
Yeah, for sure.
Didn't see penalties. Did not see penalties in our future there. But I knew we were coming away from there with a win, 100%. And I think, like you just said about, did Ricky know that Tatum was going to be there? I think Ricky as a provider, Louis Donovan as a provider, Hunter as a provider, they know someone's going to be there. So there isn't that expectation where they've got to look and get their head up and then make a move and then put the ball in. It's make a jink left or right and put the ball in. As strikers, as forwards, we know they're going to deliver. So you can constantly keep making runs and you're going to get one. Whereas nowadays, obviously, there's a lot more patience in towards and attacks. Wide players don't necessarily beat their fullbacks anymore and just whip the ball in. So you don't see people making runs into the box as much now. But back then, it was a given that if Ricky, Tatey, when he got wide, Hunter, when he got wide, Donovan, when he got wide, they're just going to get out of their feet and just whip it into the box.
Yeah. Because I remember when I went to the game,
bread and butter.
If I'm honest, there were times when we got the ball wide and I was screaming, just get it in, man. But it'd always come back. But in when we were playing, we were always taught as a winger, you whip that ball in and we'll deal with the striker if he's not there. Just whip that ball in. Yeah. Whereas today it's different now because it's all possession, check back, go along. No, we were coached. You get a yard, boom, whip that ball in.
Yeah.
And God forbid if the striker ain't there.
Ricky, when the golden goal went in, did it hit you straight away that it, or were you a bit numb? Did you think, oh, that's it, or what's going on, or was it straight away you thought, we've won?
Well, like when you watch a movie, and there's always that part of the movie where it just goes slow motion.
Yeah.
Because, there's that euphoria. Actually, when I saw it went in, I ran away, and you've got that extra energy, and you're going, yeah! But it went into slow motion because in my periphery now, I'm seeing Halsey, Edwin Steen, and Barry Fry with his fat belly and little bow legs running as fast as he can. But he's not going fast. He's running. And everything was just slow motion. Because remember, I was playing on the wing where the benches were. So as soon as I whipped it in at the edge of the box and it went in, I started running back towards the halfway line. And then I'm seeing Steen in them. But all I remember is slow motion, Barry Fry trying to run as fast as he can with his little legs. And then I just collapsed.
Yeah.
Then relief just takes over.
We were right up in the odds we were. I know we was right at the back. And we had a good view, to be fair. But I just, when you just remember silly things. I just remember walking in before kickoff and hearing Barry Manilow, the Copacabana, was being played really loud. I don't know why I remember it, but I just do. That was my welcome to Wembley for that game.
Really?
Yeah. Hey Kev, I think the cross I gave you in the staff game though in the last minute when you scored was better than any of Ricky's, wasn't it?
So if it results in the goal,
you can tell the truth.
If it results in the goal at the end of it, it's a great cross, mate.
Yeah.
Mark, what's 1995? Mark Meredith doing? How old are you there?
11.
Okay.
Wow. Probably causing trouble somewhere.
We still are.
Again, like I think every I went to the Leyland Daft 91 as a 7-year-old, and so the same. I agree with everybody. The whole weeks up to it, going to school and knowing that you got a Wembley trip to come, and then nothing else really matters at that time. That's your thought is we're going to Wembley on this Sunday, and then we got to win because we got to get back to school on Monday and we got to celebrate it. And I think that's what it was. It was just the whole, as a kid, it's so fantastic to go and see that whatever cup final it is and whatever game it is. It was just took over your life, didn't it? For at least a month before the game when we first found out we'd won the semi-final, and then going into the final, you go in there. and there was never any worry, I don't think, as to lose the game. It was always the excitement of what do we do when we win it.
Absolutely.
And so, yeah, just great memories of all the cup finals. And I really hope now, flying over on Thursday for this game, I hope we have them memories again. I'm flying back to Texas on Monday, and hopefully with a win for sure. Yeah,
no, definitely. And I think this is a great build-up, by the way, isn't it, to next Sunday? And I know we've got a game in between now, and we'll talk about that shortly. But I just think, let's just embrace it next Sunday. Prior to kick-off, the atmosphere, and during the whole game, it's just going to be an incredible day out and an incredible atmosphere, and hopefully we'll come away victorious again. So I don't want anything otherwise. I don't even know how it feels to lose at Wembley being a Blues fan.
That's great.
Yeah. I think we played there in my life 3 times. Yeah, 3 times in my life. We've played. I've seen Blues at Wembley 3 times, and we've come out on the right side of all 3 of them. So yeah, I'm kind of glad that the Liverpool final wasn't at Wembley, if you know what I mean, because penalties in Cardiff. But yeah, what about you, Robe? 1995 Robe. What are you?
So yeah, I would like to say I was 19. I was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was there with my dad, just like I was.
Just got out of prison.
Tags weren't invented then.
Just started knitting the robe.
Yeah.
Did you have
yeah, I was 19. There in 91 with my dad. There in 95 with dad. He can't get a ticket for this one, so and he couldn't go to the Carling one either. But yeah, it's just a happy time. It sounds cheesy, but it's just it's just a good time. It's just we were young, I'm a circle of mates. I was the only one who supported Blues, I think. So yeah, it's just special. It's just a really good time. Just like I say, the characters in the Blues team, the atmosphere every week down the Blues, it's magic.
Yeah.
Some comments on the message board as well. I mean, God, when you think about this, Jason Hughes said, for him, 1995, it was all to do with the soundtracks. Blues, it was Wembley singing Tatey Rave on, and then getting home and listening to Oasis singing Some Might Say for the first time. What good times.
Brilliant times.
Jimmy Demetrio, question for everybody that's on here at the moment. He wants to know, are Birmingham still in for a shot? And if so, when's it going to happen? Because he can't wait forever.
No.
Can I let you into a secret, Paul? I was supporter of the year that year.
Was you?
Yeah.
Really?
What age was you then? 95?
I'm not 95.
95. 44.
What?
And yes, my daughter nominated me, and I won it. And we went to the do wasn't at the airport place; it was in a nightclub in town. And I took my daughter with me because she nominated me. And after about an hour, she said, "You're cramping me style, Dad. I want to talk to Jonathan."
How harsh is that?
Paul, we've got 5 minutes left, so I think we need to get on to the biggest prediction.
Yeah, absolutely.
I suppose.
Very quick question for Kev before I do. So, Kev, as a fan, before you played for us, what's your most memorable game as a fan, would you say, that you was at?
That I was at?
Yeah.
Probably the DAF.
The Lad and Daff, yeah?
Yeah, DAF final.
Yeah,
but I mean, even going down there as like Robbie Hopkins, watching him playing, Gailey watching him playing, another winger just put the ball in between the 6 yard spot and the penalty spot. Blakey. So it's fun. For me, it was like iconic watching these guys playing.
Yeah.
And then like 3 or 4 years later, getting a chance to play against some of them.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then I always used to say I was getting paid to do something I would gladly do for nothing.
Yeah.
And then to have that dream of playing at St Andrews and playing for Birmingham, like most of us as kids going up through school did, and you play for counties and whatnot, and you represent your school. And then that first knockback from the club was like devastating.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It was probably like being dumped by your childhood sweetheart. Like, it tells you that you're not good enough.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. And then like you just move on with life, and as Ricky would tell you, it just takes a different path. That wasn't your path at the moment, but eventually it's going to come back around. So actually getting a chance to come back and play was just surreal.
Yeah, I bet.
And like you say, it just felt nothing like it wasn't work. It was just going to have a kick around with your mates every day.
Yeah.
Basically what it felt like. When I was at Stockport, it was work. When I was at Oxford, it was work. When I was at Derby County, it was work. And then it just seemed to change with going back to Birmingham, the way the atmosphere was.
Yeah.
Just being a fan, like just seeing the lights from a bedroom window and then like being old enough to be walking down there and then sneaking in and then climbing in and then getting a season ticket, fighting for the club. It was like, it all went like, I've done every stage. I just need to go back and be chairman now and that'll be it.
Yeah, so right, I'll start us off then with predictions for tomorrow night and next Sunday. So tomorrow night, I think we will win at Peterborough. I think we will win 2-0. And at Wembley, I think we will win 3-1. Okay, Chris?
Oh, straight to me. Yeah, I think we'll win. When are you going tomorrow, really? I think we'll win 3-1 tomorrow. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 Wembley.
Okay. Alan?
Team of record makers. So Sunday it'll be a record score, whatever that is, 4-0. And tomorrow, 2-0.
Okay. Mark Meredith?
I'm just going to go 1-0 in both. I'm going to go boring, but it's got 2 wins.
We won't care, will we?
No.
Okay, Rob?
I've got a funny feeling tomorrow's going to be closer than everyone thinks. I think it'll be 1-1 tomorrow at Peterborough. But I think we'll win at Wembley, and I think we'll win 2-1.
Okay, Claire?
2-1 both games.
That'll do. Yeah. Craig?
I'm going to say 2-1 tomorrow, but because I already know in advance that they're going to have a whole defence change going into that game on Sunday, I fancy quite a few goals. So I'm going to go with the chairman and actually go for 4. I really do think we will do it with a bang.
That'd be amazing to witness. Kev?
I will give you a 3-1 tomorrow.
Yeah. You'll be watching it. You've got any question. You'll probably be watching the game at Wembley, I guess, obviously, yeah?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow and tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay, so 3-1 tomorrow.
Sunday a win.
Yeah.
That's
Score?
it.
Yeah.
No.
Okay, no score. Okay.
Not jinxing it, no.
Okay.
I think 2-1 tomorrow, and I'm going to go for 4-2.
4-2 at Wembley.
Yeah.
Old Fest at Wembley. We like it.
Imagine if it's 1-0 and Keshi Anderson whips the ball in from the left and somebody like, say, Pakes or flicks it right into the top corner like Tatey did. If it's like a very similar goal or something, it'd be amazing.
Runs off wearing a shit on the Villa t-shirt. You know what I mean? Let's just do it. Let's go for it.
Duke needs one. If Duke has one, the statue's there.
That'd be, wouldn't it? A cherry on the cake.
Now he lifts up his shirt and it's I hate Robe.
Yeah, absolutely. So that brings us to the end of another show, which has just absolutely flown by. And Ricky and Kev, we really appreciate you giving up the time to join us again. And thanks very much for obviously all the great memories from back in the day, and also for the chat tonight. It's been fantastic and given us a brilliant build up to Wembley next Sunday as well, reminiscing. So thank you for that. So we've been the Tilton Talk Show, and it's good night from me, and it's good night from Mark Meredith.
Good night, all, and see everybody in England on Friday. Kev, I can't believe you're not coming, man.
I know you sent me the picture of your flight ticket as well. I'm like, why is he winding me up, mate? Like, and it just, I even looked at the dates before, and it's just felt at a bad time, like because we start running a course next week on the Monday, so there's a lot of course prep for it. And it's a 3-week course, so and as I'm instructing, I suppose I should be there.
Yeah,
always took a sicko.
Birmingham.
And then pop up in the stand, like celebrating. Yeah, that'll go down well.
Well, Mark Meredith, who are you handing over to, mate? You're doing a row beer. You forget.
Oh, sorry, my fault. I'll hand over to Big Kev anyway. Now we're just speaking to him. It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Big Kev.
It's a good night from Big Kev and a good night from Ricky.
Yeah, Kev, we need to link up somehow, man. I don't know if you can get my number or thingy from Craig or someone. Holler at me when you're ready, man. We might have a little chin bag while we're watching the game, innit?
I will, mate. Definitely, for sure, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah. Ricky, pass it over, Ricky.
Yeah, pass it over.
Go on.
And you know what? Even if you just holler at me on Sunday and just have a little wink. See what I got, innit?
It's a good night from Ricky and it's a good night from Claire Giblin.
Good night, guys. Bless you.
Thanks, Ricky. Thank you, mate.
Safe travels so on tomorrow. I can't wait for this weekend. It's my hen do as well. Come on, get in. And yeah, I'll see everyone on Sunday as well. Promotion push, promotion party, and I'll be seeing Robe tomorrow. So back onto Robe.
Hello.
Robe.
Earth to Robe, come in Robe.
No, I was just thinking. I was like Claire. I'm getting all misty-eyed thinking about what's to come this week. Yeah, look forward to tomorrow. Cannot wait for Sunday. I just think it's going to be a brilliant week. And the amount of merchandise I'm going to buy is unreal.
At least you're not stealing it this time.
Yeah. Well, I can't say that with Kev being law enforcement. So yeah, that's good night for me, and I'll pass over to Chris.
It's a good night from me, and it's a good night from Alan.
Tiger, you left. You are, aren't you?
Yeah. You were checking. You were just going to make sure.
I knew that.
Good night, everybody. God bless you all. And special good night to Kev. What a hero. And I'll pass over to the great one and only Mr. Fixter, Craig Courtney.
And it's a good night for me. It's Come On Blues tomorrow. It's definitely Come On Blues on Sunday. But also tomorrow night, come on Huddersfield. Let's get it done. Let's get it over and done with, and let's celebrate double on Sunday. Good night, everyone.
Thanks again for your time, Kev. Ricky,
no drama, mate. Enjoy it. I'm off to work. You sleep safe.
How are you, mate? Yeah, have a good day, mate. And Ricky's disappeared already, and he's gone. So,
Bob's open.
Keep right on all.
One night, Kev.
Yeah, it started at 2. So, now I have to get ready, pack my shit, and then, off on it. I don't even know what we're doing. I haven't checked my emails.
Go along with it.
Rove, don't forget, you're on coach number 5. I am only running 4, but you're on number 5, all right?
But at least I know where I stand.
That's all right, then. Just
you will be standing.
Definitely standing. There's no seat.
Definitely standing, yeah. So it's a real special seat, and I hope you enjoy the view.
And if anyone's getting the train from Manchester, say hello. Get me a drink.
Hello.
Kev, we'll let you leave us now, mate, and get yourself ready, mate. So
I've got to go.
Thanks, Kev.
Thanks for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Cheers, Kev.
Bye.
Be safe and be happy on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right, ta-da.
Take it easy. Bye.
Chris, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just double checking because it was rather quiet there. And what's going on with the Giblin not being around? Oh, she's.
There she is.
I'm here.
He's there. Ugh. My granddaughter's been slobbing all over me, Mike. Oh, that looks disgusting.
Sharing is caring.
Oh, I don't know what that is. I'm going to catch it, whatever it is. Good bloke. And still earning a lot of money from us.
You are not wrong.
He's earning a fortune from us.
Who is? I'm not.
Good on him. No. He's
oh, look, Claire's got a shirt on. She's getting all excited already.
I am. I can't wait for my weekend. I'm buzzing.
Oh, it's going to be I'm just preparing my email out to everybody about the coach and letting them know all the starting times and stuff. And it soon hits home then, doesn't it? Just how close it is.
Mm.
Ah.
Right.
We calm down after the weekend then.
Who? Me?
Everybody.
I'm already calm.
I've still got a sore throat. I know that. It's killing me today.
Yeah, I think it was it was just exciting, wasn't it? I mean, when Duke scored, I could have cried. I messaged him straight away.
Have you seen the videos of the amount of people that are saying they did cry when he scored a goal?
I had a tear, not going to lie. I was like a mum.
That's what Sal said. It was like a proud parent moment.
Yeah.
It's scoring his first, at the club rather than his first of the season. But have you watched his interview?
Oh, do you know what? He talks like a manager.
Yeah,
I sat there and I was like, "You are manager coaching material. You've been trained."
He's the way he turned around and his comments of the lot was, I just loved it when he just turned around and he went, Ryan Allsop, yeah, I think he got to the corner flag just as I did, so he's got some going. He's just like, he's making jokes out of everything. But I think he really, really cares. So, Meredith?
Yo.
Right, all right, Mark.
Hey, bud.
Right.
That looks like a smart T-shirt that you've got on there, young man.
I got it undefeated store in Vegas.
Oh, man, you've been spending silly money in that shop.
Vegas. That is unbelievable.
They can afford it.
And more to the point, the Birmingham City necklace, has that always been on? Because I don't recall seeing that either.
I see it. I remember that.
Yeah, it's been on. I never know you normally have it hanging out, but...
Mum.
Hello, friends.
Oh, shit.
Hey?
Who?
Oh.
We've got somebody joining that we shouldn't have. Can we ban him?
Here he is.
Let's humour him. Hello, mate.
Hang on.
Oh, do you know what, Mark? It almost seems like you're a year older from when we saw you last.
That's because I am.
No. Tell the truth. It's 10 years older than when we last saw you and took any notice.
Hang on. No, hang on. Can you see my...
Fortunately, yeah, we can see you.
He's got a new scarf.
No.
He's got the scarf at the top and he's putting his flag into camera. That claret flag's turned up.
That scarf's only there because it's the 95 one and the guys are coming up.
You know what? To be honest, Mark, yeah, that is my scarf from 95. Can you see it?
Just.
I've already warned Big Kev about you anyway.
And me, I've told him to watch the necklace round his neck because somebody will try and get it down the internet.
Hang on.
The Stockport fans give him that, didn't they, when he scored 100 goals?
Rob, can you draw the curtain on your window? We can see you. No, seriously, you could do with drawing that because it's a bit bright.
No, it's a blind, but it's so sunny.
It's not working.
The blind is only used to. What's the matter with you?
Hang on a minute. Hang on.
Only Robe could have a blind that doesn't work.
See-through blind.
The sun's out. It's nice and warm, and only Robe can actually wear a robe.
I'm eating on.
It's cold in.
What?
I'm freezing.
Oh,
yeah, mate.
Hang on a minute.
I like it to be 18 to 20 degrees in my house. It's only 17.
What on earth is that?
That looks like a six-pack, which is quite scary. Robe, that's better.
That was my hand.
About what that was then.
Are we recording this, Chris? That could be.
Yeah.
Yeah, what body part is that of Robe?
I thought it was Chris's turn to be naked again, not Robe.
No,
it's not me.
I'm going to try doing that.
As soon as that goal went in, Chris, I was like, oh my God. I went to my mum. Oh my God, Chris has got to be naked again.
Yeah, it'll be warmer this time, so I'll be able to show.
When are you doing it?
28th, I think I've penciled in, yeah.
We could score another 6 by then.
That's my dad's.
It's definitely the last time.
That's my dad's 75th birthday. That's 28th.
It's a nice birthday present for him.
I know, yeah.
It's something for him to look forward to.
Yeah, absolutely.
He asked for a stripper, but he didn't mean you.
Mark, Rob, can I ask a question? You know when you put your robe on, do you put it on specially for the programme, or have you had it on since you got up?
No. He's been to work.
He's worked from home today.
I'm not allowed to fit underneath. Look, I just bunged on because I was a bit chilly.
Are you wearing it next Sunday?
Nah. I won't wear it next Sunday, Paul. I think I'll be frog marched out down Wembley Way and kicked in the head. I think.
I think you'll need.
Wear it.
Yeah, I think you'll need raincoats. From what I'm seeing.
Let alone fucking Wembley Way, mate.
Yeah.
What a guy.
And we're off.
Okay. Oh,
what a legend!
Wow.
Good show. Really good show.
That's flown by. That's. It feels like the quickest for ages. That did.
It's always a good show when I forget to do things.
Yeah. I think
breathe.
It was flowing too well to do the quick fire question.
No.
I was just sat there listening to the stories, and at one point I was like, "It's
Chris, can we do the Barnets now, Chris, for us?"
Do next time until next week.
Yeah, no, I gotta fly home next week. I won't be on.
Oh yeah.
Let's then get Wi-Fi on the flight, and then I'll join in on the flight.
Yeah.
Do it. That'd be quality. That would.
Brilliant, wouldn't it?
Where are you, Mark? Wow, I'm 39,000 feet across the Atlantic.
I could have asked Wagner for
asking for a lift back.
Yeah.
Might do actually.
Are we doing a show next Monday?
There's
no roads, not for you.
There's 3 spaces on my coach on the way home as well, Craig. Because obviously me and my mum and dad aren't coming back. So if anyone wants to get back, then I don't know. We'll see if I'm allowed back.
I'm staying in Wembley. I am. I'm at a party, hopefully.
Well,
I'm going to be dead the weekend.
That was the perfect show, really, leading up to Wembley, wasn't it?
It was good. It complemented the week ahead.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mr. Meredith, how far away from Mayfair are you when you're in London? Do you know?
Who's she?
Today's episode is proudly sponsored by CarWow. I'll let you into a secret. When I was looking for a new car at the start of the year, I really enjoyed the excitement of watching the offers come flooding in after I'd worked out what my perfect new motor would be. It felt like every time I looked at my phone, there was a better deal on the table. Who's not going to love that? And at the same time, I listed my old car on CarWow to find a buyer and free up some space on my driveway for the new one. No waiting around for people to kick the tyres and leave. No awkward negotiations over the price. Just a simple transaction, all from the comfort of my sofa. CarWow is free to use, and whether you're looking to buy a new car or sell your old one like I did, it's the hassle-free, all-in-one car-changing solution that puts you in the driving seat. Literally. Changing your car should be easy, and as I found out, quite a lot of fun. With CarWow, you can compare the latest in-market prices, honest reviews, and sort yourself a life-changing car change, all without having to leave your sofa. Whatever you choose, CarWow are here to help you do it. Car change. CarWow. T's and C's apply. See carwow.co.uk/verify for details.
We're BetMGM Sports and Casino. We know things aren't always golden. That's why we offer you the tools to keep your place safe. Set timeouts to always ensure you take a break when you feel like you need it. Set reality checks so you know exactly how long you've been playing. And set deposit limits to help control what you spend. Stay golden with BetMGM. Play responsibly.
18 plus.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.